Listen carefully. You could read every self-help book, watch hours of motivational content, and tell yourself, I love me 1,000 times, and yet still feel unloved. Why? Because there's one truth no one ever told you until now. Today, I'm not here to give you theory. I'm here to give you the key, something revolutionary, something Carl Jung discovered that will forever change how you see yourself and everyone around you. If you're watching this, it's because a part of you already knows. There's more to life than what you've been told. This isn't just about shadow work or energy balancing. It's about using those ideas to spark real, lasting transformation. By the end of this video, you won't just understand why love has felt so far away. You'll have a clear and practical path to finally connect with yourself and naturally with others. Your relationships aren't random. What attracts or annoys you in others is a direct reflection of what's unresolved inside you. Think back. The last person who stirred something strong in you, they were more than just a person. They were a mirror. Maybe you're always drawn to people who make you feel small, or maybe you're constantly irritated by those who act like something you secretly suppress. These people aren't random. They're messengers carrying mirrors. Today, you'll learn how to use those mirrors to uncover the parts of yourself that are crying out for healing. Because until you do, you'll keep looking for love in all the wrong places. The real question isn't, why are they like this? The real question is, what are they showing me about me? The concept is called the relational mirror, and it runs deeper than most people ever realize. When someone triggers you emotionally, they're not creating the feeling. They're revealing something that already lives inside you. Patterns in your relationships aren't coincidences. If you constantly attract people who overpower you or avoid those who are emotionally vulnerable, it says more about your own hidden wounds than about them. Attraction and avoidance are both signs. They show us what we need to integrate within ourselves. Your emotional reactions are not random. They are messages. Next time you feel strongly about someone, whether admiration or frustration, pause and ask yourself, what quality in them am I reacting to? Could it be something I'm missing or denying in myself? Often, the traits we admire in others reflect our unrealized potential. And the traits we judge, they often represent the parts of us we've rejected or buried. You might hate arrogance in someone because deep down, you haven't come to terms with your own hidden pride. This level of awareness is powerful, but it demands raw honesty. You have to face what you've spent years avoiding. Once you become whole within yourself, you stop searching for pieces of your identity in others. Relationships are no longer about filling a void. They become connections rooted in shared wholeness, not emotional dependence. True love doesn't begin with another person. It begins the moment you stop needing someone else to complete you. And here's the raw truth. The parts of yourself you've rejected, they're the very ones sabotaging your relationships. You cannot fully love, not truly, until you've embraced every part of who you are. Your shadow isn't just the flaws you try to hide. It's also the potential you've never claimed, the brilliance you've been too afraid to express. The moment you integrate your shadow, without judgment, you begin to transform. No more projecting your insecurities onto others. No more mistaking your wounds for love. Instead, you relate from a place of clarity and strength, and that's when love becomes real. You always wonder, why do I keep ending up in the same kinds of relationships? Here's the truth. It's not a coincidence. Those patterns, they're signals, warnings from your subconscious. They're not just painful experiences. They're lessons designed to wake you up. If you're constantly drawn to people who hurt you, abandon you, or make you feel small, it's not because you're unlucky. It's because there's a part of you that still believes you deserve it. A wound you've never healed. Until you face that wound, you will keep attracting people who reflect it. Love isn't just an emotion, it's a mirror. And sometimes what it shows you isn't pretty. But if you're brave enough to look, really look, you'll realize these patterns are the doorway, not to more pain, but to the deepest healing you'll ever experience. Attachment isn't love. Obsession isn't love. Trying to fix someone or needing them to fix you isn't love. What most people call love is actually emotional survival. It's fear wearing a mask. It's, don't leave me because I don't know who I am without you. It's, if you love me, maybe I'll finally feel worthy. But that's not love. That's bargaining. Love doesn't beg. Love doesn't shrink you or silence you. Real love holds space for your evolution. It invites your truth, not your performance. You weren't born to chase. You weren't made to earn love like a reward. You're here to remember. You were worthy all along. And once you truly believe that, you'll stop mistaking attachment for connection and pain for passion. Let's be honest. Most of us weren't taught how to love ourselves. We were taught to perform, to please, to meet expectations. We were told to be good, to be nice, to be successful. But no one ever sat us down and said, you are enough, even when you're not perfect, even when you're messy, even when you're still figuring it out. So we grew up trying to earn love by becoming who we thought we had to be, not who we truly are. We became experts at hiding our pain, our needs, our truth, just to keep being accepted. And here's the tragedy. When you suppress your true self long enough, you begin to believe that your truth is unlovable. So what do? You look for someone who will finally love the version of you you've never dared to show. But how can someone truly love you if you've never revealed who you really are? Real love starts with this: unlearning the lie that says you must earn love. You don't earn love, you remember it. It's already inside you. And when you finally stop chasing people to validate your worth, you begin to attract people who already see it. You stop needing approval and you start creating connection. You stop performing love and you start becoming it. Have you ever noticed how the same kind of person keeps showing up in your life? Different face, different name, same emotional pattern. Maybe they're emotionally unavailable. Maybe they need saving. Maybe they always leave right when you start to open up. That's not bad luck. That's your subconscious calling for healing. You see, we don't attract what we want. We attract what we are. We attract what feels familiar, even when it's painful. If your inner child still believes love is something you have to chase, you'll keep falling for people who run away. If your nervous system is wired to expect abandonment, you'll unconsciously choose the kind of love that feels just out of reach. This isn't your fault, but it is your responsibility. Because until you recognize the pattern, you'll keep confusing chemistry with destiny. You'll mistake emotional highs and lows for passion. You'll think the pain means it's real. But love, real love, doesn't feel like anxiety. It feels like safety, like coming home to yourself, like exhaling for the first time in years. Healing isn't about avoiding relationships. It's about using them as mirrors. Every heartbreak, every conflict, every trigger. It's not punishment, it's a message. It's a life asking, are you ready to love differently this time? And the moment you answer yes, everything starts to shift. Healing begins when you stop blaming them and start listening to yourself. It's easy to point fingers. They were toxic. They didn't value me. They ghosted me. But what if, underneath the pain, there's a deeper question waiting to be asked? Why did I stay? What part of me believed that this was love? The truth is, we don't just attract patterns, we participate in them. And if you keep playing the same emotional role, you'll keep writing the same story with different characters. Maybe you're always the fixer, the one who gives too much, hoping to be chosen. Or maybe you're the avoider, pulling away before anyone gets too close. These roles didn't come from nowhere. They were born in childhood, shaped by survival, and reinforced by repetition. But here's the thing no one tells you. You can rewrite the role. You can be the one who chooses yourself first. You can be the one who sets the standard, not the one who begs to be accepted. Healing isn't about becoming someone else. It's about remembering who you were before the world taught you to be afraid, before love meant pain, before rejection felt like proof that you're not enough. That version of you, whole, worthy, alive, is still in there. Not lost, just buried. And every choice you make from self-awareness is a step back home. Let's talk about something few dare to face: The ways we unconsciously sabotage the love we say we want. We crave deep connection, but then we shut down the moment someone gets too close. We say we want honesty, but punish people when they tell us the truth. We beg for loyalty, but don't even know how to be loyal to our own needs. Sounds familiar? This isn't self-hate. This is the residue of old wounds playing themselves out. The child who felt invisible now demands constant attention. The teen who was betrayed now trusts no one. The adult who's never felt safe now calls safety boring and runs from it. You can't heal what you refuse to see. And most of us walk through life wearing masks. The confident achiever, the independent soul, the one who doesn't need anyone. But beneath the mask, there's fear. Fear of not being enough. Fear of being abandoned again. Fear that if people saw the real you, they'd leave. Here's the truth. People leave not because you're unlovable, but because the version of you you're showing isn't even you. Real love, the kind that sees you and stays, requires one thing above all else: authenticity. You've got to risk being seen fully, not just the strong parts, not just the happy mask, but the scared parts, the broken parts, the messy, honest, real parts. When you bring your whole self to the table, you give others permission to do the same, and suddenly the connection you've been starving for becomes possible. You want love? Then stop chasing people and start facing yourself. The love you're looking for isn't out there. It's waiting in the parts of you that you've abandoned. You see, every time you ignore your pain, you're teaching yourself that your feelings don't matter. Every time you silence your needs to keep someone else comfortable, you're teaching your inner child that love must be earned through sacrifice. But love, real love, doesn't ask you to disappear. It asks you to show up, fully, boldly, and without apology. Think of the relationships you've chased in the past. Were they about love, or were they about proving your worth? How often did you mistake intensity for intimacy, drama for depth, control for care? Here's the truth no one tells you. Until you heal your relationship with yourself, you will always attract people who reflect your wounds, not your worth. But here's the magic. The moment you start showing up for yourself, respecting your own boundaries, honoring your truth, and giving yourself the love you've always craved, everything changes. The right people don't just see your light, they recognize it, because it matches the light they've cultivated within themselves. You won't need to chase. You won't need to beg. You'll simply attract what you've already become. So many people walk through life searching for someone to complete them, as if they're missing a piece. But here's what no one tells you. You are not a puzzle. You are already whole. You've just forgotten the parts you buried to be accepted, to be loved, to be safe. And the irony? The more you hide those parts, the more incomplete you feel. You wear masks to fit in, to be desired. But deep down, you're craving someone to love the real you. The unfiltered, unedited, vulnerable you. But how can anyone love the real you if you keep hiding from it? The moment you stop performing and start revealing, the right connections start to appear. Because now, you're not attracting love through a role, you're drawing love through your truth. This is where it all shifts. Love stops being a performance and becomes a recognition, a remembering, a coming home. You don't need to be better to be worthy. You just need to be real, because the person who's meant for you won't need you to shrink, filter, or impress. They'll meet you in your mess and still choose to stay. Let's talk about emotional pain, the kind you carry silently, the kind that doesn't scream, but lingers. The feeling of being invisible in a room full of people, or the ache of constantly being misunderstood. We grow up thinking love is supposed to fix us, that once we find the one, the pain will vanish. But no one teaches us that relationships aren't painkillers. They're magnifying glasses. They show you every wound you haven't healed yet. You think you're upset because of what they said, but the truth is, they just touched a scar that was already there. Every trigger is a teacher. Every heartbreak is a message. The universe keeps placing people in your life not to break you, but to wake you. And until you learn the lesson, you'll repeat the pattern again and again, just with different faces. But when you finally stop blaming the outside and start listening to what's happening inside, that's when transformation begins. Healing doesn't happen through escape. It happens through awareness. And awareness starts with one brave question. What is this pain trying to show me about myself? Here's a truth no one told you growing up. Your wounds choose your partners. Your unhealed pain, it's the invisible magnet that pulls you toward the same kind of people over and over again. It's not coincidence. It's not bad luck. It's your subconscious trying to resolve what was never healed. You chase emotionally unavailable people because deep down, you fear intimacy. You attract controlling partners because a part of you never learned how to trust your own decisions. And until you shine light on these patterns, you'll keep mistaking intensity for love and chaos for passion. But love, real love, doesn't feel like a storm. It feels like coming home. It doesn't confuse you. It grounds you. It doesn't leave you questioning your worth. It reminds you of it. So how do you stop this cycle? You go inward. You stop waiting for someone to choose you, and you start choosing yourself. You meet your own needs before asking someone else to fill the void. Because until you become whole within, every connection will just be a temporary bandage over a wound that needs your attention. Healing doesn't happen by pretending you're fine. It begins the moment you stop running from your pain, from your patterns, from your truth. You see, most people spend their lives reacting to triggers, reacting to fears, reacting to old wounds they never dared to face. But reaction isn't healing, it's just survival. Real transformation begins when you pause, when you breathe into the discomfort, when you look at your shadow and say, I see you, I won't run anymore. That's when the magic begins. Because the moment you choose awareness over avoidance, you reclaim your power. You realize your story doesn't have to repeat itself. You're not doomed to live the same heartbreak on a loop. You can choose differently. You can love differently. You can live differently, but only if you're willing to meet yourself. Not just the parts you're proud of, but the parts you've hidden, denied, buried. Those are the keys, because the love you want will never feel safe if you haven't first made yourself a safe place to land. So here's the final truth. You've never been unlovable. You've just been unseen, not by others, but by you. You abandoned yourself long before anyone else did. You rejected your needs long before any partner failed to meet them. And now your healing begins with the most radical act, coming back home to yourself. It's not easy, but it's the most sacred journey you'll ever take. And as you walk it, something shifts. You stop chasing love. You start embodying it. And when you become love, you attract people who speak that same language, who won't need you to shrink, to hide, or to compromise your truth to be loved. Because now you're not waiting to be chosen. You've already chosen yourself. And that's where the story truly begins. Your subconscious is not your enemy. It's your protector. But it speaks in a different language. Patterns, projections, triggers. And until you learn to decode that language, you'll keep walking in circles, calling it fate. The person who left you? They weren't your punishment. They were your wake-up call. The one who made you feel small? They were reflecting the smallness you've accepted within yourself. These people aren't just characters in your story. They are your guides. Uninvited perhaps, but necessary. This is the hidden purpose of pain. It forces you to meet the parts of yourself you've ignored. But here's the truth most people run from. Healing doesn't come from avoiding discomfort. It comes from leaning into it, from asking, why does this hurt so much? And being brave enough to wait for the answer. Because within that answer is a door, and behind it, a version of you that's been waiting to be seen. When you start embracing your shadow, the parts you've hidden away or denied, something magical happens. You stop chasing love as if it's a trophy to win, and instead, you start creating it from within. You realize that the love you sought in others was actually a reflection of the love missing inside you. And that's the real breakthrough. Because true love, the kind that lasts, can only grow from a place of inner completeness, not from need or desperation. The moment you accept all of yourself, the light and the dark, you begin to magnetize relationships that support your growth, not drain it. You attract people who celebrate your authentic self, not just the idealized version you present to the world. And with that, every connection becomes a sacred dance of mutual healing and expansion. It's important to remember that this journey isn't easy. Healing your shadow means confronting parts of yourself that scare you. It means admitting you're not perfect, that you carry fears, wounds, and flaws. But here's the paradox. The more honest you are about your imperfections, the more free you become. Because freedom doesn't come from being flawless. It comes from being real. You don't need to hide anymore. You don't need to pretend. When you allow yourself to be seen fully, flaws and all, you create a space where others can do the same. And that's where true intimacy begins. Not from perfection, but from radical acceptance. One of the most powerful shifts happens when you stop blaming others for your pain and start taking responsibility for your healing. This doesn't mean you caused everything that happened to you. It means you are choosing to own your story and learn from it. When you shift from victim to creator, you reclaim your power. Suddenly, every heartbreak becomes a lesson, every conflict an opportunity, and every ending. This mindset turns relationships from battlegrounds into classrooms, from prisons into playgrounds where you can experiment, grow, and evolve. Imagine approaching your next argument or disappointment not with fear or anger, but with curiosity. What is this teaching me about myself? The truth is, no one else can complete you. The search for a partner to fix your emptiness is doomed to fail, because true completeness comes from within. When you start loving yourself unconditionally, flaws and all, you stop needing others to fill those gaps. Instead, you share your fullness with them. This is the foundation of healthy, sustainable relationships. And here's the key. When you show up whole, you invite others to do the same. You no longer attract people who reflect your wounds, but those who mirror your healed self. Those who inspire growth, joy, and genuine connection. This journey is not about perfection or a destination. It's a lifelong process of discovery and acceptance. Every relationship, every experience, every challenge is a chapter in your story of becoming whole. And as you grow, your relationships will evolve too, becoming richer, deeper, and more meaningful. So the question isn't, why do I keep facing the same challenges? But what am I ready to learn now? When you ask that, you open the door to transformation. One of the most overlooked truths in relationships is that the energy you bring shapes the entire dynamic. If you enter interactions with unresolved pain or unmet needs, you unintentionally project that onto others. This projection acts like a filter, coloring your perception and behavior. You may see others through the lens of your own fears or desires, causing misunderstandings and conflicts. The healing journey invites you to step back and observe your energy honestly. Ask yourself, what emotions am I carrying into this relationship? What expectations or fears are shaping my reactions? When you become aware of these influences, you gain the power to shift them. Instead of reacting unconsciously, you can respond thoughtfully, creating space for genuine connection rather than conflict. Another essential step is learning to set boundaries. Healthy boundaries are not walls. They are clear signals of self-respect and care. When you know your limits and communicate them firmly yet compassionately, you protect your well-being and invite respect from others. Boundaries prevent resentment and burnout, allowing relationships to thrive in mutual understanding. Setting boundaries can be challenging, especially if you grew up in environments where your needs were dismissed. But reclaiming this power is vital. It's a declaration that your feelings and needs matter just as much as anyone else's. Practicing this skill leads to more balanced relationships, where both partners feel safe, valued, and free. Emotional intelligence is another cornerstone of transformative relationships. Being able to recognize, understand, and manage your emotions helps you navigate challenges with grace. It also enhances empathy, the ability to feel and understand what your partner experiences. When you cultivate emotional intelligence, you create a safe emotional space where vulnerability is welcomed, not feared. This openness deepens trust and intimacy, allowing both partners to grow individually and together. The result is a relationship that supports healing and continuous evolution. It's also important to embrace patience in this process. Healing and growth rarely follow a straight line. There will be setbacks, moments of doubt, and times when old patterns resurface. These are not failures but natural parts of the journey. Instead of judging yourself harshly, learn to treat yourself with kindness and compassion during difficult times. Remind yourself that transformation takes time and that every step, no matter how small, moves you closer to wholeness. Celebrate progress, not perfection. Ultimately, the path to love and connection is a path back to yourself. When you learn to embrace all parts of who you are, your light and your shadow, you unlock a profound freedom. You stop chasing love from the outside and start creating it from within. This internal source of love transforms your relationships into partnerships of mutual growth and respect. It's a journey that requires courage, honesty, and commitment, but it promises the deepest fulfillment imaginable. So now, as you reflect on your relationships in your inner world, ask yourself, what patterns keep repeating? What parts of myself have I been avoiding? And most importantly, what am I willing to do to embrace all of who I am? Your journey isn't just about finding love, it's about becoming love. And in that becoming, you will find a peace and joy that no external relationship can ever provide. When you embark on the journey of self-love and integration, you begin to notice how your relationship patterns echo your inner state. The people you attract often mirror your unresolved issues, your hidden fears, and your unmet needs. This isn't a punishment, it's a profound opportunity to grow. Each challenging relationship is like a teacher, showing you exactly what parts of yourself are calling for healing. The key is to shift your perspective from blame to curiosity. Instead of asking, "Why does this person hurt me?" ask, "What is this person helping me see about myself?" This subtle shift opens the door to greater self-awareness and empowers you to take responsibility for your emotional experience. Understanding your relational patterns also helps you break free from repetitive cycles. You might notice a tendency to attract emotionally unavailable partners or find yourself repeatedly drawn to toxic dynamics. These patterns are not random. They are reflections of your subconscious beliefs about love and worthiness. Healing involves uncovering these beliefs and gently questioning their truth. Are they really facts, or are they stories you've internalized from past experiences? By bringing these unconscious narratives into the light, you empower yourself to rewrite the story and create new, healthier patterns. One powerful practice to cultivate this awareness is journaling. Writing down your thoughts, feelings, and relationship experiences can reveal hidden patterns and emotional blocks. It provides a safe space to explore your inner world without judgment. Try asking yourself questions like, what emotions do I avoid? When do I feel most vulnerable? What qualities do I admire or resent in others? And what do they reflect about me? Over time, this reflective practice deepens your connection to yourself and guides you toward healing. Another transformative step is practicing forgiveness, both toward others and yourself. Holding on to resentment and blame only perpetuates pain and blocks growth. Forgiveness doesn't mean condoning harmful behavior. It means releasing the grip of past wounds on your present. When you forgive, you reclaim your power and open space for compassion and peace. This process is often gradual and may require revisiting difficult feelings, but it ultimately frees you from the chains of past hurts and allows love to flow more freely in your life. Finally, remember that true love starts from within. It is an inside-out process. When you nurture your relationship with yourself through acceptance, kindness, and honesty, you build a foundation that supports all your external connections. This inner love radiates outward, attracting people who resonate with your authenticity and wholeness. Your relationships then become reflections of your growth, not mirrors of your wounds. This is the gift of true transformation, becoming a source of love rather than a seeker of it. One of the most misunderstood aspects of love is the idea that it should be effortless and perfect. The truth is, meaningful relationships require work, patience, and continuous self-reflection. When you commit to growth within yourself, you become more equipped to handle conflicts with grace and understanding rather than fear and avoidance. Challenges in relationships aren't signs of failure, but invitations to deepen your emotional intelligence. They call you to communicate more honestly, set clearer boundaries, and embrace vulnerability as a strength rather than a weakness. This shift changes everything, from how you connect with your partner to how you relate with friends, family, and even yourself. Remember, your journey toward authentic love is unique and deeply personal. There is no timeline or right way to heal and grow. Be patient with yourself and celebrate every small step forward. Each moment of awareness, each time you choose compassion over judgment, is a victory. Surround yourself with supportive people who encourage your growth and reflect your worth. Cultivate practices that nurture your mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being. And above all, keep returning to the truth that you are enough exactly as you are, whole, worthy, and capable of giving and receiving profound love. If this journey resonated with you and you're ready to dive deeper into the art of self-love and meaningful relationships, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Here we explore practical tools and powerful insights to help you transform your inner world and create connections that truly nourish your soul. Hit the like button if you found value in this video and share it with someone who might need to hear this message today. Remember, your path to love starts within, and we're here to walk alongside you every step of the way. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more life-changing content. Your transformation is just beginning.